Social media is stealing your dream life. And I know I'm making a bold statement when I say that. The thing is, you don't even know what's happening. But I promise to back this up with facts today, because you deserve to finally get your dream life instead of the one that somebody else is manifesting for you. You guys know I told you in my last video that I have recently deleted TikTok and that I am taking a total and complete break from all short form social media content for a while. And that is because I have watched my social media consumption do every single thing that I'm going to share with you in today's video. And that is destroy my ability to attract my dream life. And when you learn that people are using social media an average of 2.5 hours a day, and for those of us who are millennials and Gen Z, which there are a lot of you on this channel, are using social media up to 5 hours a day, then you know that hundreds of thousands of you who are watching this are having your dream lives stolen too, without you even knowing it. And when you know this information that I'm going to teach you today, you will re-empower yourself into taking your life and your version of your dream life back into your own hands instead of letting social media decide that for you. All right, so let's get into this today. And I just want to preface this by saying that this is not at all to demonize social media. Obviously, social media is a big part of what I use for my career here on YouTube. It's an incredible resource for learning and for growth and for connection. However, it also can be incredibly destructive, particularly for the lives that you're all trying to manifest, that we are all trying to manifest. And so it's crucial that you understand these things that I'm going to teach you today, because I truly believe that on the other side of this is what's going to unlock the universe finally being able to do exactly what we talked about in the last video and give you your dream life. So without further ado, the first way that social media is stealing your dream life is because it keeps you constantly focused on what other people are doing, on what other people are saying that you should and shouldn't be doing. The more social media you watch, you're constantly exposed to what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, what other people are achieving, what they're embodying, what they're launching. And eventually it starts to make you think, maybe I should be doing this. Instead of actually even asking yourself, do I even want this? Does it even feel aligned with me and who I am and the kind of life that I want? And then the further down this rabbit hole you go, or I should say we, because it's important to say, obviously I deleted TikTok and am not watching much social media content at all right now because I have fallen victim to this too. We start comparing ourselves to what other people are doing, to the choices they're making, to the timelines that they're on, telling ourselves that we are behind, that we should be doing more, that what we're doing right now is wrong. And then we stop trusting ourselves. And as a result of not trusting ourselves, we start self-abandoning more. What I mean by that is doing something even though it feels wrong, telling yourself that there's only one way to do something or to accomplish something, even though going about it that way is draining you, and so on. And then you're trying to keep up with all these things, with all these strategies, even though they might not be and are oftentimes likely not even aligned with you and who you're here to be and what you're meant to do. And when it comes to manifestation, this means that instead of actually trusting yourself and doing and discovering ways of accomplishing and achieving your version of your dream life in a way that would actually feel authentic to you, you end up just mimicking the way you see somebody else doing it. And this one actually leads into point number 2 about how social media is actually stealing your dream life. And that is because it keeps you so distracted all the time that you won't even be able, that you can't even hear your internal guidance or messages from the universe. Your internal guidance, those messages that you're going to get from the universe, from your higher self, are quiet. But social media is pretty loud. Social media is going to keep you focused on what's trendy instead of listening to and honoring your internal truth. But you can't hear your internal guidance from your higher self, from your intuition, from the universe until, or I should say, unless you take time to get calm and quiet. And this is where clarity and intuition and inspiration and those nudges from the universe, and when really clear, obvious signs can finally start coming through. The problem is social media actually trains us to be uncomfortable with calm and quiet. But in order to actually get your version of your dream life, you cannot blindly take advice from people without then tuning into your own internal guidance system to determine whether that advice is actually right for you or not. The problem is the more social media content we take in, that voice gets quieter and it becomes more and more difficult to be able to listen to. And then we're essentially just taking in all this information, taking in all of this advice from other people, and oftentimes acting on it without tuning into our intuition. And then we end up making choices, making decisions, and taking actions that are actually moving us away from exactly what we want, purely because we're watching somebody else technically have what we might call success with it. And the reason that you find that you keep following these other people's advices and it's not working for you is because it's not supposed to. So if you're constantly focused on other people instead of yourself, and you're so distracted by what they're doing and what they're telling you that you can't hear your internal guidance, then first things first, you are going to miss out on all of the opportunities and guidance that the universe sends you that will get you to where you want. You won't be able to hear that. You'll miss all those opportunities. And 2, you will keep making choices and maintaining habits that actually align with somebody else instead of you. And this is why it's going to seem like things keep working for other people that you see on social media and not for you. Okay, point number 3 is that social media rewires your brain for passive gratification and instant gratification instead of real world, real life manifestation, action, and ultimately fulfillment. Social media turns you into a spectator, watching other people do things, watching other people achieve things, instead of being an active participant in your own life. Watching other people do what you want and achieve what you want actually starts to light up the same centers in your brain as if you were doing and achieving those things yourself. You feel like you're doing something on a subconscious level, which actually makes you want to keep going back and staying on social media for longer and longer periods of time, because your brain is seeking out those hits of dopamine to actually subconsciously make you feel that sense of gratification as if you are actually getting the life that you want, as if those things are actually coming to you. But because you are not moving, but because you are not the one who is changing, but because you are not the one who is growing, nothing's happening for you. And on that note, social media trains all of us, again, to expect that instant gratification. In the long run, it programs you to have a really low tolerance for invisible, what I'm going to call invisible progress, and for the long game, which means that when you start working on manifesting the things that you want, when you start taking inspired action, when you are using your tools, your affirmations, your visualizations, when you're doing things to better your life or to grow as a person, and you don't see really quick results, your tolerance has been trained to be so low for that you give up really easily. And ultimately, you give up way too soon. Here's a really hard truth that I need you to know, that all of you need to hear. And I say this to you both from a place of complete love and as somebody who has done this so many times. Gradually, this process of being trained to seek out dopamine through social media actually programs you to seek out dopamine through other people's actions and progress instead of creating it for yourself. Because again, your tolerance has been trained to be so low for you to wait for your own progress, to wait for your own results and success, that if you don't see yourself get it quickly, this is something you don't even realize you're doing. You end up saying, I might as well just go watch somebody else do something really cool, or teach me something really cool, or do something that I want to do on social media, instead of actually going and doing it for myself, because it's going to take too long and I can feel better right now. So all of that energy that could be going toward creating something for yourself, building yourself up, building your dream life, doing healing that needs to be done, and even manifesting what you want, manifesting for you, ends up getting drained into somebody else and somebody else's life. Now remember, this is not about encouraging hustle culture, for you to start hurrying up and hustling. That's actually one of the reasons that you're in the situation that you're in now, is because you believe that it would take you an insufferable amount of effort and hard work in order to get you where you want to be, that you have more pain associated with creating your dream life for yourself and manifesting your dream life for yourself, and you have more pleasure associated with giving all your energy to somebody else's dream life. But I am here to tell you, both from knowledge and from personal experience, that the way that you're going to attract and achieve and receive, most importantly, your dream life is to have enough space to be able to hear, like I keep saying, that internal guidance, to get the messages and the signs from the universe, so that every action that you take ends up being completely aligned with the results that you want. And that is what will make things easier. That is what will make you manifest faster. And that is what will make it so that you do not have to burn yourself out or do things. Well, ultimately, this is what causes burnout. Constantly doing things that you don't want to do, constantly doing things that are out of alignment with you and who you're here to be. And the fourth and final reason that social media is actually stealing your dream life is because social media constantly overstimulates your nervous system, and drains you of the energy that you need in order to manifest and build your own dream life. When we watch social media, it triggers adrenaline. When we watch things that make us feel stressed or afraid, or when we are comparing ourselves to someone else, or even thinking that there's something that we should be doing that we're not doing. Like we already mentioned, it also triggers these micro hits of dopamine, and it also tends to cause us a whole lot of emotional ups and downs. And so social media ends up leaving us constantly feeling tired but wired, because our nervous system is just going up and down all the time. It's taking in far more information than we as humans are meant to be able to take in at any one time. And again, I've been so guilty of this. I am such a fan of learning. I love taking in new information. I love learning things to better myself and my life. And I bet you that a lot of you are the exact same way. Little caveat here. The problem is we can end up telling ourselves that we are watching social media purely because it's actually benefiting us, because it's helping us learn how to manifest better. But again, when much of your spare time is spent doing that and taking in that kind of stimulation and all that information and other people's advice, you'll be too drained and too tired to actually do and create not only the things that you want to, but to even put into practice the things that we are learning on social media. So it kind of ends up all being for naught, because we end up just continuing to consume instead of creating. And this process keeps our nervous systems constantly stuck in fight, flight, or freeze instead of alignment, instead of things finally being able to flow to us, instead of manifestation finally being able to be easy. And so this leaves us with no energy left over to be able to pursue our inspirations. Even if you do get those little hits, those little intuitive hits about what feels right to you, about something you're excited to try or start implementing in your own life, you won't have the energy to make the necessary changes that are going to align you with the version of you who would already have the life that you want. There will be no more energy left over. And this is a big part of what led to my own collapse, as we talked about. If you try to manifest this way, through nervous system overstimulation and burnout, you will find that manifestation always feels hard for you, that it feels like things just keep being blocked, no matter how many affirmations you do. So let's reclaim your energy. Let me tell you how to do that. Because social media in and of itself is not bad. Like I said, it can be an incredible tool, but it's about how and when you use it. Right now, let's just call it what it is. Your social media consumption is an addiction. It's important that you acknowledge that your social media addiction, that it is stopping you from ever actually having the life that would truly feel fulfilling to you. Not just in micro doses, but that's never going to happen as long as you are still addicted to social media. Okay? And that is why, just to remind you I said it, I think, earlier in this video and last week, I have made the decision for right now to stop all forms of short form social media content consumption. I don't want to be focused on what other people are doing right now. I don't want to be focused on what other people are telling me I should be doing. It's really, really important to me to be connecting back with my truth with my voice. Because I know from experience that every time I've done that, that is always what has led me to manifesting the results that I wanted. So my first suggestion to you is to start using the app timers, the limitation timers. You guys know what I'm talking about. You can go into your phone. If you don't know how to do this, by all means, Google it. But it allows you to decide how many minutes of all of your social media apps you want to allot for each day. And what this does is it really helps to bring awareness to how much you're using social media. And it really interrupts that unconscious loop. Like, for example, just from my own experience, I found that for the longest time, I might get done with work for the day. And the first thing that I would want to do to essentially decompress was to get right on my phone and start scrolling. And I bet a lot of you do this too. So having those notifications on your phone can be immensely helpful for reminding you, hey, let's not use more than this, because I don't want to be programming my subconscious mind to manifest for other people instead of myself. Okay. The next thing is to turn off your notifications for all your social media apps so that you're not getting those little red numbers telling you about how many notifications you have. It's extremely helpful. If you're not willing to, go ahead and delete the apps yourself. I'm not saying you have to go as far as I have gone. That's just what felt right to me. And surprisingly, because I've reached this level of realizing just how much it was damaging me and my ability to be able to attract the things that I want, I don't miss it. It's really strange. I really truly believe that once your desire for the life that you actually want becomes greater than short-term pleasure, when your desire for the life that you actually want and realizing how unhappy or how unhealthy you are, and right, I'm not speaking for you, I'm just speaking for myself. Once you realize that, it becomes a lot less difficult to stay away from social media a lot more often. And it feels so much more fulfilling, you guys. I won't lie and say that it's been entirely easy. There have definitely been times where my brain wants to go back to doing that. But then I come back and I remind myself, think of all the months, think of all the years actually that, and this is not to shame, this is purely for awareness. Think of all the hours that have been wasted overstimulating yourself, burning yourself out, confusing your mind with all these other people's opinions, watching other people get what you want, instead of you actually getting there, instead of you actually feeling good and having a fulfilling life. And I'm tired of that, at least for me. Another tip for you is to only use those social media platforms in order to research something specific that you'd like more information about, and then set a timer. So tell yourself a max of, let's say, 10, 15 minutes. And then as soon as that timer goes off, you get off social media. And that allows you to learn the little thing that you wanted to learn. Maybe it's an entire YouTube video, one of your favorite content creators. As soon as the timer goes off, you're done. My next tip for you is to stop watching any content that your intuition is telling you, and you're going to feel it if you listen, is not aligned with you. The moment you feel that, stop watching that kind of content and get off of social media. I don't know about you, but I don't want to spend the next 5 years or the next 10 years looking back. I don't want to be 10 years from now looking back and realizing how much of my life I spent watching other people, how much of my life I spent on social media, instead of actually experiencing things in my real life, instead of actually achieving the things that I know that I am meant to do, the things that I feel called to experience. And this will lead to you finally attracting your dream life. But you have to be willing to take these first few uncomfortable steps for future you. What I call my Your Unique Life Purpose readings are where I go into detail about your specific human design chart, and not just what the specific form of internal guidance, the intuition that you were born with, but how you are meant to use it. And also, I will share with you what you came here to do. It's really fascinating. I really, truly love doing these kind of readings. Every single person I've done it with so far, it just blows my mind how different we all are and the purposes that our souls all came here with. So if you're interested, links are in my description box below. If you found this video helpful, please do me a quick favor and subscribe and leave this video a thumbs up. It only takes you just a second, but you make a big difference in helping me and growing this community, because that's how we let YouTube know to get these videos out to more people so that I can help more people exactly like you. You are worthy. You are remarkable. I love you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.